This is where passion meets positivity and optimism. In a world where bad news abounds, You Are Solid Gold with Michelle Lau celebrates the good in our lives and the beauty in the hidden gems around us. Welcome to You Are Solid Gold. Here she is, international television host and QVC jewelry expert, Michelle Lau.
Hi, and welcome to You Are Solid Gold with Michelle Lau, the travel edition. Wanted to tell you a little bit about a trip that we took recently that I think you should seriously consider taking here in the next couple of weeks. We went to Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, and there's a real good reason for it. They have the largest spring food and wine festival that's happening between now and May 23rd. So it's in Williamsburg, Virginia, which is a beautiful town, so much to do. We were staying at the Kings Mill Resort, the golf resort, which you might have seen in an earlier video. And one of the things that we did while we were there is we went to this festival. It solved a problem really for us because Ron loves roller coasters and this girl does not. But I was in the mood for a little international fare and I wanted to try some new things. They had food and drink there. In fact, a lot of new things. We wanted to go on a taste bud adventure. So they had over 100 different things that you could taste. And there was a lot of new things, a lot of very unique things. I had been to the Food and Wine Festival in Tampa previously and really had a great time, but this was a completely different experience. So if you think you've been there before, you may want to go back again. It was very unique and very different. One of the things I insisted on when we talked to Tim Hennigan from the Travel Collaborative, when we were weighing if we should go there or not, is I really wanted to make sure that we were going to be in a safe place. So it had limited capacity. They had a lot of social distancing. Everything was, in place for hygiene. In fact, they were constantly cleaning the park. There were sanitation stations set up everywhere. And it was really a great time to get back into the great outdoors. So we just had a ball, and I can't wait to share with you the experience. First of all, when you check in, you receive a little food and wine festival guide. And this thing is invaluable. This is not something you want to toss or say, no, thank you. You want to take this one because not only does it list everything from all the different countries, but it also gives you a checklist. So you can actually keep track of what you liked in case you wanted to revisit it, or like me, recommend it to somebody else. But when you look around you, when you're not eating and drinking or spinning in the air in a roller coaster, you're going to see so much natural beauty. This ground is lush. I mean, it was blooming. It was beautiful. There were flowers everywhere. The trees were all bloomed. I mean, it was just such a spectacular sight. A lot of the areas you could stand actually on bridges and look at the water and the rivers, and it was just a lot of fun. But we had a game plan now, right? We had our roadmap. We had the map of the park. We knew exactly what we wanted to do. So we hopped on the trolley. What a fun experience. This trolley was an open air trolley. Again, everybody was social distance, so everybody felt very safe and secure, but you could seriously look around and see the whole park. So if you wanted to, you could take the whole swing around the park and get a game plan together on where you wanted to get off and get on. So if you had somebody that maybe, had some issues walking for distances and you wanted to give them a break, that's another great reason to hop on or hop off. But it was just a nice way to get an overview of everything that was going on at the park. So we really enjoyed that a lot. That experience itself was much more fun than just transportation. Although it did give us a good look at the park, it also did scoot us from one end to the other real quickly. So I like that a lot. We saw all kinds of great things, but I was really into this whole wine experience, the wine and food festival. So when we got off in Italy, I got a little silly. I hopped in and I started to make some wine, kind of a la I Love Lucy. Not really. I wasn't really making wine, but they had the barrels set up on platforms so you could go in and do the old grape stomping thing and feel like you were really getting into the spirit. So I had a lot of fun with that. It was a giggle. Everywhere you look, down every little alley, down every little, piece of the property, you saw things that were so charming. You'd see open air markets. Everybody was smiling. I mean, it was just great. I noticed there was a lot of couples there, and it might be because of the day of the week that we were there and the time of the day. It was just really, really pleasant. I mean, there was a lot of space. There were a lot of kids there, but it was just a lot of open air, which I really enjoyed. We did stop and stay a while when we would see entertainment. There was a lot of live entertainment, which surprised me. I thought there'd be some, but I was really, taken with some of the things that I saw and heard. The entertainment was top shelf. It was really fun. And it was a great place to kind of sit down, take your mask off, enjoy a beverage or something, on your ticket. Oh, speaking of tickets, there were two choices for us. We could get the 10 pass or the 15 pass, which was the deluxe. Ron and I decided for the day that we would get the deluxe pass. And that meant that you could sample 15 different things. What we wanted to do, because that seemed like a lot, but we wanted to split everything so we got to taste more things. So if you like to do that like we do, that's one way you can save a little money, but it's also a way that you can sample a whole lot of stuff. So we bought the deluxe package and it was really great. I'm going to tell you at the end another choice that you have. And so if you want to stick around, I can tell you, I think would be a really wonderful thing to do with the family. So stick around, that's at the end. But yeah, so everything was safe. We wore our masks unless we were eating or unless we were watching a show and having a little something to drink, but it was fun. So after we watched the show, we took a little stroll and we stopped on one of the bridges. They're everywhere. We were looking at the water and I was saying to Ron, oh my gosh, those trees, they're so pretty. And then out of nowhere came a roller coaster. This roller coaster was blended into the trees so seamlessly. I didn't even see it there until it was almost on top of us. So it roared on down. Everybody screaming, hands in the air. And it was so much fun. They came within inches of the lake before they swerved off to the right and headed back up into the woods. It was really something to see. I mean, every roller coaster, of course, and there are a lot of them at Busch Gardens. Every one has its own sort of personality. But that one I thought was really special, the way it came out of the woods like that and came almost down on top of the water. Well, we hurried on across that covered bridge because Ron was anxious to give that one a try. But we stopped along the way in the German village. I'm half German, half Norwegian. So I was really curious to see the crafts and the food and everything else that was offered there. Well, it did not disappoint. There were statues and fountains and again, just so much to see visually. And it's just really tasty, not only the taste buds to go to the Food and Wine Festival, but it's also really tasty for the eyes, for the artist in you. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's not overwhelming, but instead it was just so much fun. See, that's one of the things I remembered from roller coasters and amusement parks in the past that I didn't like. I didn't like the overstimulation. So the thing that I loved about Busch Gardens Williamsburg is I love the connection to nature when we were there too. For someone like me who maybe doesn't do the rides, they had some fun things there that you could try as well. They had a carousel horse set up and you could get on the carousel horse and you could pose for pictures. And I let people think that I was not only on the carousel, but I let people think that I maybe rode a roller coaster or two. It's between you and I never got on one, but it sure looked like I did in the pictures, right? Well, speaking of pictures, as we strolled again through the different countries and really drank in all the culture, we stopped into a little art gallery that really caught my eye. This art gallery was full of bright and vivid colors of animals. And I mean, they were so well done. I'm going to share with you the artist's story in another video, so you'll get a really good look at her work. But just know that it's incredibly special. And whether you're looking for art, whether you're looking for food, whether you're looking for live entertainment, whether you're looking for different drinks and lots of fun, you're going to find it at Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, Virginia. There's no doubt about it. I get to try a lot of things I'd never tried before because of the Wine and Food Festival. I had a mojito that had herb flavorings to it. It was really rich and really dimensional and super good. So that was one of the things I liked the best, actually, of what we got to try. When I asked Ron what he liked best, of course, he said the roller coasters. And I, held his stuff while he went on the ride. I tried to take, a few pictures of him and he waved at me from the top of one of them. We also had some fun looking at the animals. I have never seen a bald eagle up close and personal. And I feel like I really had a bonding with one of them. He looked me right in the eye and literally posed for me. I don't know. I think he did it on purpose. I think he knew exactly what he was doing. I got the best picture. I mean, I could actually frame that picture. It looked so good, but it really brought a wonderful sense, of communing with nature. And again, being right there with the animals. It was really a lot of fun. We saw some horses too. The horse that well, I say we met him, but we sat and chatted with him for a little while. It was Dustin. And I jokingly said that Dustin had his food on his mind because there was a hay bale hanging right over his head, but he was a sweet thing. And they do a lot of tours too, in the horse farm and in other parts of the farm, so that you can spend a little bit more time with the animals if you'd like. But we were there for the Food and Wine Festival. So off we went to Killarney. We went and checked out Irish country. And that was probably Ron's favorite spot. I mean, not only did they have great food and drink, but again, wonderful open air entertainment. It was really festive. And a lot of people seem to be sort of gravitating there. So just be warned of that. If you want to escape the crowds, probably not best to go there first. But after you warm up a bit, you might welcome it like we did. We stopped at a place called Annie's Cafe. And we stopped there intentionally to take a picture of Ron standing in front of it because our niece Annie would get a kick out of it. And she really did. We sent it to her from Busch Gardens. So that was fun. Virginia has a lot of interesting history, a lot to talk about that I've never been to Virginia before. I've never experienced it before, but I fell in love with the area. And historically, I really love that stuff. I love the little trivia. So take a listen to some of the things that I learned while we were there.
So we're at the Virginia Food and Wine Festival. It says by 2020, there were over 300 wineries operating in Virginia and over 200 craft breweries. It also says that Thomas Jefferson, the third U.S. president and Virginia's second governor, cultivated 18 variety of apples in his orchard in Monticello, planted between 1769 and 1814. However, he concentrated on 2 cultivars for cider production, Hughes Crabapple and Taliaferro. Apple pie moonshine, of which I can attest is delicious, by the way, is a mixture of moonshine, apple cider, and spices like cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg. And that's what we're doing today.
And I can't resist a doggy story, so check this out.
So we're still here at the Food and Wine Festival, and I found some other fun facts. The first recorded use of the word hush puppy dates back to 1899. The term is attributed to hunters and fishermen who would fry a cornmeal mixture and feed it to their dogs to hush the puppies during cookouts. That's hilarious. She crab soup can trace its roots back to the Scottish settlers. They apparently started a variation of the soup from as early as the 1700s when they brought with them a recipe of blue crab and rice. Yum. And bacon is quickly becoming an American favorite. In a recent survey, 65% of Americans polled said they would support bacon as being the national food. Yum.
Well, then it was back to the roller coasters. Apollo's Chariot was waiting for Ron, and boy, oh boy, did he love that. I'll tell you what, just the walk through the park was amazing. We went through an area that was so enchanting. Hanging above all of the pathway, there were these beautiful Chinese lanterns, and it was just starting to get dark. We spent literally all day at the park, and it was so beautiful that I made Ron take a picture with me in front of the lanterns. You know how that goes. And I'm glad I did, because that's one of my favorite photographs from the trip, one of my favorite memories. He looks very stern, of course, but he was enjoying himself. Don't get me wrong. Towards the end of the day, my feet did start to get tired. Again, we did a lot of walking. I was having such a good time, but we stopped for a while at a wonderful gazing garden. This really surprised me. I wasn't expecting this at an amusement park. There were so many beautiful statues, so many gorgeous fountains, and then the roller coasters and the rides were right up over your head. It was so amazing to sit there and look up and see everybody having such a good time. The other end of the park was very quiet. I don't know how they did that, but one end, it was more lively. The other end, they had the sound really almost eliminated so that you could sit and you could hear the trickling of the water from the fountains. It's really a nice thing to stop and see. Oh, speaking of stopping and taking a look at what's going on, we found another live show that was really awesome. Take a listen to this.
This thing called love, well, I just can't handle this thing called love. Well, I must get around it, ain't ready. Crazy little thing called love. Come on, Dan. All right. This thing called love, it cries, it brings all night this way.
Well, then it was time to head back towards the car. And one last look at that roller coaster, too, as it went careening down the hill. That was probably my favorite. One quick trip back around the Artist Gallery and a look at her pièce de résistance. This is Carol Lee's gorgeous bear, which is outside of her shop. We'll be seeing her in an upcoming episode, I promise you that. You know, after all, the largest Busch Garden Spring Food and Wine Festival, you know, that's a pretty big title to live up to, right? But it had a great selection, not only of thrilling roller coasters and rides, but over 100 international flavors and sips to really savor. Lots of new things, lots of specialty beverages. Again, I mentioned earlier, but I want to reiterate that we purchased the deluxe food and beverage sample and we shared it. It was 15 menu items. And so the wine and the bourbon tasting, which was also available, was a separate charge. And we didn't really feel like we needed to go there this trip around. We just wanted to sample the food and to sample the drinks that were part of the festival. Some of my personal favorites, I promised you I'd share a few of them. Some of them were the jerk chicken sliders. They were yummy. Again, we shared all of this stuff. The mushroom risotto, we liked it so well that we went back and got a second one. That was in the Italy area, and it was awesome. So, the crispy shrimp tacos. Oh, my gosh. Yummy. So good. They were just seasoned perfectly. And speaking of perfect taste, when we were leaving on the way out, we stopped by the Hawaii area and we tried the poke bowl. And Ron wouldn't try it. He doesn't like tuna, but I fell in love. It was so good. I think about it still. It was so yummy. We had beignets. We had frozen sangria. He even got me to try some apple pie moonshine, which was surprisingly awesome. It was really great because at that time of the day, it was starting to cool off a little bit. And so we sat and we shared it. We sipped on it. It was actually kind of a romantic little moment. I loved it. And of course, you know, you can't forget the cannolis. They're always a favorite around my household. Anyway, we had a wonderful time. If you are going to go, again, the Food and Wine Festival goes until May 23rd, and it goes Thursday through Sunday. But there's one other way that you can see it, and I'd recommend checking it out if you can. You can hire a park guide to take you and your family around for 4 hours. So you don't have to wait in the lines. You get sort of shuttled to the very best places. They show you where to go and what to do. And included in the price, each of you would get a 15 sampling, which is a lot, a 15 sample card. So if you all want to try something, go for it, because that's a really good package. It is gives you front of the line, it gives you VIP parking, and it just gives you a lot of extras. So you can check that out if you'd like to online. I'm not sponsored by Busch Gardens or by the Food and Wine Festival. I just really wanted to share it with you because we had an awesome time. And I honestly expected to kind of go, but it was out of this world. Go check it out. Ron gives it a 2 thumbs up as well. And it is a solid gold adventure. I guarantee it. I'm Michelle Lau, and until next time, keep shining.
Thank you for joining us on You Are Solid Gold. We hope that you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Would you please subscribe, like, and share this episode? If you know of a person, place, or thing that is a hidden gem that we should feature on Solid Gold with Michelle Lau, please submit it for consideration at hello@youaresolidgold.com. Now, get out there and shine.